Hey everyone, you're tuned in to Live with Necee. I am your host, Opal Bailey. And today I have with me Robin Sturgeon, who is a co-founder of Fuel 21 Ministries and an author of a book called Covenant Love. Hey Robin.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you, Opal?
I'm doing good. I just want to say welcome to our show. And I know that you have so many good things to share with our listeners. And so do tell us, what is 21 Ministries?
Well, Fuel 21, it originally started a few years ago as with Shiloh House of Hope, which was a non-residential counseling program for troubled teens and their families. I have been a high school math teacher for almost 20 years, and within my first 5 years of teaching high school, I had a student that took his own life, and it impacted me to where I didn't recognize the signs. It was very unsuspected. And I began to wonder how many others are sitting there silently crying out, and we're just kind of missing the cry. And so I began to seek the Lord and what to do and how to better help in that area. And he led me to starting Teen Girl Retreat. And the first couple of weekend retreats that we held, some of the girls just really opened up with different things going on in their lives and just realized, even at such a young age, how much healing they needed already. As you know, John 10:10 tells us, the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And even at an early age, but Christ came to give us abundant life. And so from that birth ministry and counseling with teenagers and their families. But recently, within the past couple of years, just really praying about it and asking the Lord the direction, what he wanted with it, with the ministry and the name, and it was his. You know, I was just laying it out there. Lord, what do you want? What avenue do you want to take this? And in praying about the name, I've heard several times when I asked the Lord, what is it you want me to do? I would just keep hearing, feed my sheep. Feed my sheep, just like he told Peter, do you love me? Yes, feed my sheep. And so from that came Fuel 21, fuel not only for igniting the heart in his love, but also in the feeding, and the 21 from John chapter 21, verse 17. And so it's a ministry to share the love of Christ and the healing that he provides. And giving that hope to others that are in a battle and just need some extra support.
What are some of the ages that the ministry reaches out to?
It was originally teenagers, but I'm sure you've seen as well, the attack is getting younger and younger. And we notice a lot of times when upper teenagers, when they head off to college, they're out of high school, they feel like they're in this transition. Okay, now what direction is my life to take? So it's a wide range. The vision, what we would like to plan and begin soon is training with the younger ones and after-school programs, helping them with their schooling, and also teaching them just to pray and seek the Lord and give their prayer requests to him and trusting him. But then working with other ages through the counseling program as well, and just trying to help bring that healing, restoration, but also reconciliation in the families. There's such an attack on families.
Well, I hear you say you're providing counseling services and stuff. What kind of other services are you providing with Fuel 21 with the kids? And also, does the parent have their play in this as well? Do you reach out to them, or this is just mainly young kids, from what age to what age, and the services you provide, and is parent involvement in this as well?
If there is a parent there
Mm-hmm,
in the
mm-hmm.
picture, yes, we absolutely want to get the parent involved as well. And that is with classes, parenting classes, holding that with them, as well as having them come in and just working through differences and how to even help their teen when they're going through different things, different strategies to maybe help a situation rather than make it worse. Ages, we really don't have a limit. We've had some come to us 8 years old that are battling different things at that age, and parents are seeking help. And so it's pretty open. Of course, through 18, we really want to get the parent, guardian, whatever the situation is, involved as well.
Mm-hmm.
After 18, of course, they're kind of on their own, but always we want to try to keep the family unit together and bring reconciliation where it's needed.
Mm-hmm. What kind of the battles that you see the kids dealing with that you have to face yourself or have to help them get through what they're going through?
A number of them need healing from abuse, a big epidemic now, especially in the past few years, that is rising, not just in our area, but across the nation, is the drug addiction and the heroin, particularly, that use. In the past 7 years, in the Mid-Atlantic, the drug abuse of heroin has increased over 200%. And they just keep getting younger, but we're also seeing a lot more depression, suicide attempts, cutting, a number of things in those areas. And there are a number of students or teens, children, that have lost a parent, and just dealing with the healing and the trauma of that, because that's very traumatic at an early age.
What is your everyday, like a normal day for you? I know that the situation that you're dealing with, these are troubled kids, and things are going on in their life, and some of them are, like you mentioned, abused, or they're recovering or coming from out of an abusive situation or drug use, or they're dealing with constant, depression and chronic depression and various struggles and battles that they're dealing with. But what kind of treatment would you provide for a child who is dealing with depression?
There we just share with them the love of Christ, and that there is hope, there is healing, and just ministering to them in that aspect. With trauma, we're also just now partnering with, it's a local church. They have a program that uses equestrian therapy, and they've seen a number of just success stories through that. As a matter of fact, they're even partnering with some area local public schools and having the children go out and interacting with the horses and bringing therapy that way. And then, us on the counseling end, we come alongside with just getting it out and helping them with the healing and just vision for their future, and how to go on, strategies for coping when it does get very tough, and just trusting and relying, on the Word of God, which was a large reason, purpose in writing the book, is God's promises are true. He has a covenant with us through Christ, and relying on those promises and knowing that He's always there with us. In Psalms 27:10, it says, even if your father or mother forsake you, that He will never leave us. And as I mentioned earlier, there's so many that have lost either one or both parents. And growing up, trying to find their place without that is very tough. And just feeling the Lord say, I promise to be a father to them, but He can do that through His people. Like He's placed us to help nurture His children and bring them to Him so they feel His comfort, peace, and confidence in Him.
When you come across someone or a young child or what age they may be, what is the first thing that you do? Do they have to, and what kind of way do they, are they enrolled? Is this like a school that they're going to come in? Is it a living facility where the child comes and live with you and y'all work through different stages of their life that way? Or do the child go home if they have a home, or the foster home? Do they, are there like the transition, or what kind of facility does Fuel 21 provide?
We don't have a facility yet. So right now it's non-residential counseling and classes. So yes, they are still in their home situation. The vision is for a facility, but we're still waiting upon the Lord for that.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good. And where are you located? Are you in the city of Brevard, or where is Fuel 21 housing?
Right now we were living in Orlando. Now we are back in Delaware. So right now operating out of the Mid-Atlantic region.
Mm-hmm. And so when you was here in House of Hope, and that's how we met. Give a little bit of background to us. We worked at I met Robin at House of Hope of Orlando, and House of Hope of Orlando is a living facility for troubled teens, whether through court or whether through parents, whichever way they want to, they feel that they can't handle the kids. And I was a house staff, and Robin was one of the counselors. So that's how we met personally. And it's been over 5 years, I believe, Robin, give and take.
About 4, almost 5 now, right?
Yeah, so it's been a long, long time. So was Fuel 21 kind of like it birthed out of House of Hope in a way, far as wanting to provide a facility for the teens that you've encountered in Delaware? Did it kind of
originally we started in Delaware. Back in 2007, we were actually given property to start a residential program in school for teenagers. But in the permit process, we were denied our permit from the county council, so we were unable to build on that land. So we started we held the non-residential program at that point until we were asked to come serve in Orlando at House of Hope there. And it was the end of 2015. We felt the Lord sending us back to Delaware and to try to start things up again in this area. There has been just as I mentioned, just a lot going on, especially with the youth, the drug addictions. There was unfortunately an epidemic about 4 years ago. There were a number of youth suicides in the area. And so just coming back to this area, seeking His will, and just starting, with those that come forward and say, hey, we need some help. And partnering, we're still in the process, partnering with churches in the area as well, and just building our team a little more to, as you mentioned, eventually we would love to have a residential program here, but we're just kind of